How's it going, guys? Sir Teapot here, and today we are doing some more STGU, which is Sir Teapot's gaming update, and this week is the week of the April the 1st, and this week we're going to be covering all the game releases, all the biggest news stories from last week, and all the little bits that I put in between. And to start off this week, we're going to start off with the game releases, and coming out on the 2nd of this week is the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid game coming out for the PS4, which I did cover last week, but that were only coming out in Europe. This week it is coming out on the US, which is coming out tomorrow, I believe it is. And then we have got Pressure Overdrive coming out on the 4th for Switch. And then we've got We Happy Few, They Come From Below DLC, which I believe is the first ever DLC that they've actually got for that game. And it actually does look awesome, and I might even check it out myself at some point on the channel, because I have played We Happy Few before, and it actually got a good reception on the channel. So if you guys want to see me play that, let me know below. That comes out on the 4th, and that comes out on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And then we've got Dancer Death, Do Look, and Faye. Don't have a clue how you even say that. It comes out on PC on the 5th, and then we've got Enter the Gungeon, A Farewell to Arms, which is like a spiritual successor type of sequel kind of thing for it, and that's just coming out for PC at the moment, and that's coming out on the 5th. I believe that is coming out for the Switch later on as well. And last but not least, we haven't got a lot of games to cover this week, surprisingly, on the game releases compared to last week where we had about 15, near enough 20 or something like that. We've got Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission for PC and Switch, and that's coming out on the 5th of this month. Moving on from that, we have got the upcoming games to play, which obviously there isn't a lot of games this week coming out. So the game that I have picked is the We Happy Few, They Came From Below DLC, because the games that are coming out this week don't seem too interesting, but this DLC actually looks awesome, so I'm definitely going to, hopefully I'll be checking it out at some point. I will be playing it in my own personal time, though, as well, at some point. So if you guys do want to see it, like I said, let me know below, and I will be playing it. Game Pass game to play this week, we have got a new game that has come out onto Game Pass. We've had a few this week, actually, is Vampire. I am going to be checking it out on the channel this week at some point, because I have currently got it downloaded, ready to be played. So hopefully you guys are ready for me to play that, because it does look awesome. The concept behind the game is like where you're playing in like a 1912 London, I believe it is. And you're playing as, obviously, a vampire that has just been turned. But I believe you used to be a doctor as well and stuff like that. So you want to help people, but you've also got to feed yourself and stuff like that. So you kind of got to kill the people that you've always sworn to help and stuff like that. And there's a lot of choices in it and stuff like that. So I'm going to be probably as evil as possible and just turn into an absolute maniac as per usual whenever I play these types of games. But we shall see when it comes out when I play it later this week. So keep your eye out for that when I do play it. And moving on from that, we've got the achievement to achieve, which is Do You Not Know Who I Am, which is in Trials Rising, which I actually have been playing this week. So in the top corner around about there-ish or something like that, or above my head like here, is Trials Rising it's in, and I've been having a lot of fun playing Trials Rising recently. It's a hell of a fun of a game. This is actually to get level 50 in the game, which is quite a grind, but like once you get going with the game and get used to it, it becomes a lot easier and stuff like that. Like I've got it after like probably less than like 14 hours worth of game time, probably even less than that. I haven't probably put that much hours into it, but that is for 120 game score, so it is a very large gamer score achievement as well. So if you like your achievements and like that gamer score, definitely recommend going for this, because it wasn't too extensive to try and get it, so I definitely recommend trying to get this. And moving on from that, we have got the all the biggest news stories from last week that you may have missed. First off is Iron Man VR has officially been announced, and it is coming out this year at some point, and it's going to be coming out exclusively for the PlayStation VR. And if you haven't seen the trailer for it, I'd recommend going to check it out, because it looks absolutely awesome. Like I kind of want to go get a PlayStation VR just for this game exclusively, because it just looks so immersive, so fun, and like looks really in depth for a Marvel game anyway, because obviously, as you may know, Marvel games haven't been too great over the years, apart from the Spider-Man game that came out recently. So hopefully this keeps on the trend of awesome Marvel games, so hopefully we'll see it when it comes out later this year. Moving on from that, we have got a new Lord of the Rings game apparently being leaked for 2021 release. I'm not 100% sure by who it's being published by or anything like that, but it has been leaked, and there's been screenshots leaked as well of like promotional art and stuff like that for the game, and it has been slated for a 2021 release. So I will give you more news when I hear about that in the near future, and hopefully we see some more details on it as well very soon, because it does, by the sounds of it, hopefully it's good, because we had the Shadow of the Mordor games and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like a spiritual successor to that. It looks like its own entity, so hopefully we'll see something new out of the Lord of the Rings series. And moving on from that, we've got massive layoffs at EA last week as well, because they've said they are going in a new direction and stuff like that. So they said they've had to lay off some staff and stuff like that to give themselves a fresh start, in a sense of, I believe they said in an interview about it. Which, fair enough, if they wanted to go a fresh new route and stuff like that with the way they've gone with Apex Legends, I reckon they may be actually going in a better direction now and stuff like that EA, but we shall see in the near future. Hopefully they've got rid of some of the staff that were basically killing the company even more than it needed to, because it were already a wreck as it is. And then, moving on from that, we have got the first trailer for Borderlands 3 released last week. If you haven't checked it out, I believe we actually got 2 trailers actually now. I believe we got a trailer either last night or today, I can't remember which one it was. But I definitely recommend going to check out both trailers. I cannot wait for this game. It looks absolutely awesome. It just looks visually stunning. The new engine looks amazing about it. There's apparently over 1 billion weapons in the game. Like, God almighty, that sounds crazy. So hopefully Gearbox actually do pull off an amazing Borderlands game, because like after the letdown of the pre-sequel and stuff like that, I hope this is a return to form and the show to us that they've actually still got this awesome like franchise behind them, and it wasn't as much of a letdown as pre-sequel actually was. And also with that news coming out, we have also got the Borderlands 1 getting remastered. I believe it is either next week it comes out or the week after it comes out, but I know it does come out in April at some time, and it's going to be remastered for the PC, Xbox One and PS4, so that should be very nice to see as well in the near future, because I will be definitely checking that out on the channel, because it would just be fun to go back and replay it and have a look how good it actually looks now with a remaster and stuff like that. So we shall see in the near future. If you guys want to see me play it, let me know below. And we've also got Kaz Hirari, which is one of the Sony's executive, has announced that he's going to retire from Sony within the next month, which is rather interesting, because we've been seeing a lot of higher ups from games companies stepping down recently and retiring. I don't know if it's because of their age and stuff like that. Yeah, it might have just been coincidence timing and stuff like that, but it seems like a lot of big executives and heads for these big studios like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, a lot of the head executives seem to be stepping down, so we may be seeing a change in the near future of the games industry in itself, just with this big three main heads, I would say, of the games industry, like the Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo. So we might see some big changes within those companies very soon with all these massive retirements. Also, speaking of people that retired from companies, Notch, who retired from Minecraft after Microsoft acquired Minecraft, his name was still in Minecraft to this very day in like the loading screens and stuff like that, and I believe he were in the credits. But now his name has been completely removed from all of Minecraft completely. Now there's no reference to him and anything like that, and which is understandable if people like know who he is and understand what he does and like understand his standpoint on a lot of stuff. He's a very controversial guy. I don't like. It's not that I don't like the guy. He's a really genuinely generally really nice guy. It's just some of his opinions don't really stand with what Microsoft stand with and stuff like that. So they've removed his name from their products so they don't get into trouble and stuff like that. It's like when PewDiePie got into trouble with announcing people and stuff like that. It's just reassuring that they don't get into trouble by having someone else's name associated with them, even though they're not associated at all anymore. It's just one of those things where like you just want to distance yourself as much as possible from them. We've also got a new character coming out for Dead by Daylight, and it's going to be Evil Dead's Ash. If you've seen the Evil Dead series before, Ash is the main character from the films, and I believe there is maybe 1 or 2 Evil Dead games. I can't really remember though. He is going to be a new character that you can play as within Dead by Daylight. I've seen the trailers and stuff like that, and it looks quite awesome. He's got like a big axe and stuff like that. He just looks like the way he looks compared to the original in the films and stuff like that, it looks basically spot on. They've done a very good job of keeping the way he looked like really realistic and stuff like that. They made it look really well. So props to the people that made Dead by Daylight. So hopefully he'll be a decent character, and hopefully I might have a video out in that game in the near future. Next, moving on, is a big thing that's actually happened in the gaming community, because it's going to change the perspective of a lot of things not change the perspective, but change the way people go about doing this kind of stuff on Twitch, because a lot of you may know what swatting is and stuff like that. Well, a guy that did a swatting on Twitch, which is when people call the SWAT teams to people's houses to get their IP address, find out their actual address that they live at when they live stream, and get a SWAT team sent out to that address to get them basically like gunned down, like pinned down with guns and stuff like that. Well, there were ones about a year ago, I think it was, where a Call of Duty player actually got swatted, but during the swat he was actually killed, unfortunately, which is very, very sad and very, very ridiculous that people even go to these lengths to do these types of things. Well, the guy that did it, that they traced back the calls and stuff like that to the guy that made the original call, and he has been sentenced to 20 years for manslaughter. So hopefully now with this happening and stuff like that, swatting becomes less of a thing, because it did start to become a massive issue, and hopefully this guy getting sent down for 20 years shows people what it can actually do if you actually mess up this bad. Like, if you actually did something like this, what extremes it can actually go to. Like, not a lot of people realise that it could actually lead to a very, very bad situation where someone actually does get shot and stuff like that. And hopefully this proves to people that they should just never do it, because it could ruin your life and you spend up to 20 years in prison. Like, it's not worth it. So hopefully this makes people realise not to do it ever again. And moving on from that, we've got Valve VR device teased and named the Valve Index, which, to be fair, I think is a pretty piss-poor name, because it sounds like they've just literally renamed the Steam library and gone, Steam Index, that's what it should be called. Like, no, just, I don't even know what to call it. Like, to call it the Steam System or something. Steam System actually sounds alright, to be fair. I'll be alright with that. Steam System. Valve, if you want to take it, I'm here. $1 million. I'll take it. You can have the name for $1 million. That'll be fine. Hopefully it's good. It looks quite good from the screenshots that I've seen of it and stuff like that. It does look really nice, because it was teased and like it was leaked a little bit as well, I believe, before, and it will leak like the day before by accident. But what isn't leaked the day before everything comes out nowadays? It's no surprise anymore. And last but not least, we've got the Sega Genesis Mini being launched in September of this year, and it's going to include up to 40 games, and it's going to include one of the all-time classics that people have been craving for in one of these mini versions of old school consoles, is the original Sonic the Hedgehog, which is one of the main reasons why I actually want to pick this up, because it just sounds awesome with the games that it's already said it's got in it, but the main one including Sonic the Hedgehog is just brilliant, because I really would love to be able to go back and replay the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and maybe able to work out if there's a way to be able to capture through the Sega Genesis Mini, so then I could be able to record videos on it and stuff like that, so then I could be able to record the original Sonic the Hedgehog. That'd be well fun to do. Well, anyway, guys, that's the last of the news from this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Make sure you leave a like and share this with your friends. It helps a lot more than you think. And subscribe for daily content. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. And peace!